Hi guys, my name is Akshat Gupta. I am a full-time house husband and a part-time author, a part-time lyricist, a part-time poet, and a part-time screenwriter. I'll tell you why I said it. Though I also said it so that all of you can laugh, but it is equally the truth of my life. I come from a very small place called Ambikapur district, Sarguja, Chhattisgarh. I'm sure most of you would have never ever heard of this name. When I started my life, fortunately, my life has not been with a lot of traumatic situations, as I've been hearing, these people. So, I come from a hotel background. I'm the third generation of my family into hospitality. And this is exactly what was expected from me. So when I reached class 6th, one day my father made me sit with him. And he said, Beta, if you think whatever you're getting from me, from all my hard work, if you consider that amount to be 100, 1, 0, 0. All that I expect from you is to add one more zero to it in all your life. I thought, easy, I'll surely be doing it. Then he said another line. He said, please don't forget that adding one more zero to 100 needs 900 more to it. That was the moment when I knew that maths is not meant for me. And I was right about myself because I failed in class 6th. Now when I failed in class 6th, I'm sure almost everyone sitting out here would have heard this one line, कि बेटा जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. Whatever happens, happens for good. So I flunked in class 6th, and that was for the first time when I realized that what failure means. Failure at that point of time, with that age, meant that my juniors are going to be my classmates, and my classmates are going to become my seniors. And I started crying. So they said, I come from a small place, so there were not much options of good schools in there, which is why I was sent to a hostel in another town called Raipur. Raipur now happens to be the capital of Chhattisgarh. I was sitting in class 6th, but in a new school this time. And while all the students, nobody knew me and I didn't know anybody, and there comes a history teacher. It was also his first day, and the first question he asked was, give me the shortest difference between invention and discovery. Now don't forget that I already finished 6th once. So I thought I knew the answer. I thought all of them are fuddu, they will learn it after me. And I said, I tried to give a very long explanation of putting all the names like Vasco da Gama and Graham Bell and who not. And he heard me very patiently and he said, sit down. He gave chances to other people and I thought he's still not impressed. So I raised my hand again. He gave me another chance. He said, sit down. I thought there's still scope of impressing him. I raised my hands for the third time. It backfired. So he was irritated by then. He said, stand up. I stood. And he said, you know what? Your father discovered your mother and invented you. Sit down. This was my second lesson. The shortest difference between invention and discovery was that my father discovered my mother and invented me. It was later, after a few years, when my parents told that it was the other way around. My mother actually discovered my father and they decided to get married and invented me. From class 6th till class 10th, everything was hunky-dory, happy, very good. And in class 10th, we students of Hostel learned this word called unity. And then we were badly thrashed by our seniors and our teachers because we were using that word in a wrong manner. 10th was when I was expelled from the school. I was rusticated from the school. There were some very good teachers around me and very close friends because when you live in hostel, your friends and your wardens become your family. While I was being rusticated from the school and I was leaving the school, all these people together said the same thing. बेटा जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. And I was super irritated. I wanted to punch at least two faces who were my best friends in then. And that is how I reached Indore. Now, Indore happens to be the financial capital of Madhya Pradesh. I was in class 11th. And everybody told me that 11th and 12th are the most crucial year of your studies. I was damn sure I'm going to study very well. But I don't know why this happens with, in either class or 11th, class 11th or 12th mostly, is that this word called love. And for some reason, usually in class 11th and 12th, you fall in love. Priya, this is not for you. So Mr. Gupta, standing right in front of you, is no different from nobody else. I fell in love with a girl. That was normal. What was strange is that she also fell in love with me. And people around me said that, beta, जो होता है, अच्छे के लिए होता है. So the love affair continued well. We started growing. It was not the time of mobiles then. That doesn't mean that I'm very old. Don't take me otherwise. So we were in a long distance relationship inside the same city in different colleges. However, both of us tried to keep our loyalty towards each other. We continued for 5.5 years. And at the age of 22, we got married. After which, both of us learned a very important thing in our lives. The lesson was never get married at the age of 22. It's too early. 5.5 years of a relationship, 8.5 years of marriage, 6.5 years old son. No, again, you guys are taking me wrong. He was small. He slowly grew. Not 6.5. What are you doing? So he slowly grew. Now he was 6.5 years old. And I was running 5 restaurants in Indore, started from 1. And suddenly everything collapsed on one night when my wife left me and took my son away. Why is very personal, which I will rather bring at the end, maybe. So suddenly everything shattered when my wife took my son and both of them left me. I got so depressed that I tried to end my life in 2014. And when I was saved, people told me the same old cliched line again. They said, beta, jo hota hai, achhe ke liye hota hai. You know, these kids, I'm sure everyone, you might have seen small kids around you. These kids, where they don't know how to write, they take these drawing copies, they make one star or one circle and they turn the page. Our normal drawing copy is of 10, 12 pages. So my son used to finish a drawing copy every day and he used to say, Aki. The synonym for him to dad and papa and daddy was Aki. So he used to call me Aki. So he said, Aki, please bring me another drawing copy. And I used to bring it and bring it. And sometimes I used to forget. And I always thought that chota hai, we have enough time with him. Because there was no stationery shop around my house. Sometimes I used to forget bringing him another drawing copy. One day I decided that I should take 12 drawing copies, like a dozen, for him so that he doesn't keep asking those drawing copies from me every day. The day when I reached with those drawing copies, my son was gone. I couldn't give it to him. Those drawing copies made me cry every day. I used to see them and I used to cry like babies. Just because, it's such a small thing that my son wanted and I couldn't give it to him. And so I picked it all and I started writing a story for my son, thinking that in 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 months, I will, however, convince them both and bring them back. So in his drawing copies, I started writing a story for him. I kept waiting and I kept writing for 6 years. And now it has become one of the national bestsellers of this country in a record-breaking time of 5 months. A very big man has bought the visual rights of this book, and we are working on making it a 3-part massive trilogy film. I became the first ever Indian author to have sold the visual rights of a book before the launch and release of even a single part. I have 7 more films other than this trilogy now. And all of that before all of this started, and I came to Mumbai in 2015. So the size of my career is too small. It started in 2015, it stopped in 2020 because of COVID, and now it is, taking its course again. All these times when I was fighting with my own depression, people told me that beta jo hota hai, achhe ke liye hota hai. And every time I was very irritated with all those lines. Now when I look back and I now know why I failed in class 6th, because I had to reach Raipur. I knew why I was in the trap of unity and was beaten badly, because I was supposed to reach Indore. I was supposed to meet this girl who once was everything, was the love of my life. And I had to lose her and my son. By the way, my wife now is the wife of my best friend. That is what happened. Yeah. But I don't feel bad about it, because that is the truth of my life. And I strongly believe that unless and until I will not accept my truth gracefully, none of you here sitting is going to accept me. So this is what is. I can't hide my face. Whoever you are, you can't hide yourself. Which is why you shouldn't try to hide the past, because, it some or the other day comes out. And it is such a big burden on you, continuously hiding your past. It does no good to you. So while all of this was happening, everybody said that beta jo hota hai achhe ke liye hota. Now when I look back, I know that they were right. It is all interlinked, if you see, which is why I was narrating you this story. But at the same time, I don't want to leave all of you sad with what happened to me. So in 2015, I met another girl. But I was very clear that I'm not going to fall in love whatsoever, said and done. But she was very good. So we fell in love. This time the girl discovered me. We are still trying to invent something together. But I was again very clear that, falling in love is a different ball game altogether that I think I can play. But getting married again, boss, that's not happening. But she was so good that we decided to get married again. She's my wife now. She saved my life. So one fine day, while I was standing in the balcony of a very beautiful place that I live in, Mumbai, I made these 2 lines, which is some or the other time going to be the truth of all your lives. It says that जहाँ से चले थे फिर वहीं आकर ठहरे, जहाँ से चले थे फिर वहीं आकर ठहरे हैं, एक उम्र लग गई समझते कि दुनिया गोल है. So you keep making the same mistakes in different colors all over again, and it's okay. It's absolutely okay. I tried to end my life in 2014 when my son was taken away from me. I'm not proud of what I did, but again, that is the fact of my life. There comes moments when you're very fragile, you're very weak. Breaking you is very easy. I have had taunts after when I survived it with people that I once loved a lot, saying that this man is such a failure that he tried to end his life and he failed in that too. So if you're growing good, everybody would want to cling on to you. If you're going down, everybody are gonna stand on your head, push you more to do the wrong things. All of us, one word that we keep on using all over again is I. I. I is such a lonely word. that this word I has just one letter in it. That is how lonely this I is. And I chose to become a writer, which is a very lonely job in there. You know, it is said that writing is a very lonely job. The other synonym of I is eyes. God has also gave those eyes in pair to us. Nobody wants to be alone. I was in the worst of my conditions. I was mentally gone, physically gone, depressed. Socially, nobody was standing with me. Is when this girl, who now is my wife, held my hands, and we had no connections before. So at the start, when I said that, hi, my name is Akshat Gupta, I'm a full-time house husband and a part-time writer, I meant it, because those 4 or 5 years when there was nobody to take care of me, you don't start a career at the age of 33. You usually don't. At the age of 33, I wanted to come to Mumbai and start becoming a writer, and nobody showed faith in me other than this girl. I was so broke financially that I did not had enough money to sustain my own expenses. She fed me for 4 years without marriage, without commitment. I don't know any other person, any other female, any other human being who in today's time could do something this big for somebody. She spent some 56 lakh rupees in these 4 years on me, while I was so full of hatred and troubles that I was not ready to commit anything to her. When you go inside the sea, you walk inside the sea. With every wave, you fall back 2, 3 steps. Then you walk again, and you keep tiring yourself. The right way of fighting the waves is to surrender to it. Go down, let the sea wave pass through you, stand again, walk 2, 3 steps. Let another wave come to you, because this is life. It will keep coming to you in different colors, as I said. Every time that a wave comes, just let it pass through you. Just submerge yourself in life, in people, in time, so that at least you can hold your ground where you stand. You don't go back with every wave. That is what breaks us. Going back in time breaks us. So thank you for your time. My name is Akshat Gupta. I am a full-time house husband and a part-time author. Thank you.